Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing, some of the best vintage snowmobile racing in the Midwest. Crane's Snowmobile Museum, 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. The Benedim YouTube channel, some of the best vintage snowmobile videos on YouTube. Ben's Vintage Mini Bike Podcast, the second Sunday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Muscle Car Show and Tell Podcast, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Second Chance Upholstery and Automotive, custom snowmobile and automotive upholstery in Derby, Vermont. I am your independent Amsoil dealer. Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time viewing the podcast tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. So let's take a few quick comments, then we'll bring our friends on, and we will get this party started. So let's see. Oh, our good friend Armand Buto is here saying, good evening, Mike, Midge, and Rob. Hope you can keep the string of great shows going this week. Excellent. He's from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. By the way, later in this podcast, we're going to play a video clip from the day I met Armand Buto. It's probably 6 or 7 years ago. So we do have that to look forward to. Let's see. Benedim 424 is here. Now, Benedim is one of the places this podcast simulcasts out to. That's kind of a mouthful. You should try it. But anyway, we thank him for allowing us to put this out on his YouTube channel, and we encourage you to check out the Benedim YouTube channel. Also, our good friend Rich Shad is here saying, good evening, everyone. Too bad all this rain wasn't snow, or we would be riding. Good point. Also, I'm working with Rich Shad. He's got some 8mm footage he's trying to get digitized. We're going to try to have him on the podcast sometime in the not-too-distant future to look at that and also to look at his Polaris collection. Also, our good friend, our dear friend John Springer Jr. is here. He's been with us from the very beginning, and I have to thank him. He sent me a video clip for us to use on the 100th episode, which is hopefully going to be in 2 weeks' time. So thank you, John, for that wonderful video and for being here tonight. Mad Dog is here. Randy from Wisconsin. Good evening. Don't you worry. Don't you fear. Snow will soon be here. Bada boom. Yeah, he's a poet. That's cool, man. Gotta love that. A poet in the house. Jim Holbrook is here from Thetford Center, Vermont. Regular viewer says we're loud and clear. Great to see you, Jim. Let's see. Mike Whiteside, our good friend and very regular viewer, says, good evening, everyone. Hank the Wonder Lab and I are in the house. And I got to thank Mike Whiteside also because he made a nice little video clip for us to air during the 100th episode. And I cannot wait to share that with you. Thank you so much for that, Mike, and for being here. Also, our good friends, Stacy and Art Fosler. They've been with us since the very beginning, regular viewers from Platteville, New York. Great to see you. Pardon me. Ivan Mayo is here, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Nice to see you. Now, I notice, as you probably do, the way these comments pop up on the screen looks a little different. It's a little bigger, and there's an image of the person. Their profile picture is there. I like it. What do you guys think? Please leave the comments. Dave Lowry is here, loud and clear from Alberta, Canada. Great to see you. Old Skidoo 2, good evening. Reese Fleury is here from Tupper Lake, New York. Regular viewer, great to see you. He has been with us for many years as well. Also, Eric from the Benedim YouTube channel says loud and clear from Camden, New York. Jeffrey Coates says hello from Saskatchewan, Canada. Great to see you. Rich Shad, loud and clear on the north shore of Oneida Lake, New York. Regular viewer. Outstanding. J.A. Johnson says good evening. And Andrew Strakos is here from Granville, New York. Nice to see you. Okay, with that out of the way, let's bring our friends on, and we will, as promised, get this party started. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Good evening, Mike.
Good, Mike. Thank you.
Doing good, Mike.
Cool deal. Cool deal.
I do like the new screen.
Yes, isn't that nice?
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm not behind that. This interface that I use, it's just an upgrade they did. So yeah, very pleased to see that. So let's get things started. Our guest tonight, our special guest, is good friend, and he's been on here many times over the years, and he and I have known each other for many snowmobile shows over the years. He's one of the top promoters in the East. He promotes all sort of vintage snowmobile events and things like this. And he's also part of the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Going to change the look here and put it where we can all get a better look at you. And Bud, yeah, welcome, and please tell us why you're here tonight.
Thanks, Mike. Well, we're trying to get the word out about the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum. We are being forced to vacate the current buildings. They have been compromised structurally. So we're looking for a new home, and we've been trying to raise money to relocate. We've got several things in the works. I don't want to go into too much detail and let too much out at this point where no decisions have been made. But we do have a couple of options that we are looking at where we could move the collection. We are currently moving the sleds up to Bartlett, New Hampshire for a long-term temporary storage until we get a new building. A little bit of background on what happened was this past February at our winter rally, we had the winter rally, as some of you may know, during that bad sleet storm in February. And we were able to pull it off, but unfortunately, we found rafters inside the building breaking. About 5 or 6 of them were cracked. One was broken. So we reported it to the state, which owns the buildings, the Parks Department in New Hampshire, and they did an assessment of the building. Now, mind you, these buildings are over 90 years old. They were built in the 30s, and they were built to be the Civilian Conservation Corps camps under the retraining for people after the Depression. So anyways, these buildings were built on wooden foundations. And as it turns out, after an inspection, they are in really bad shape. The foundations are compromised. They're rotting away. Some of the walls are buckling. The roof is moving. And Mike, you have a picture that I'm sure you're going to put up soon. There you go. So it shows how they had to brace up the wall so it wouldn't fall out anymore. And this actually wasn't the worst wall. The wall on the other side of that building is even in worse shape. If you look down the side of it, it's twisted all over the place. So to make a long story short, we have to get the sleds out of there and find a new home for them. So this is what we are looking at doing for the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum currently. So
Sure.
If you'd like to throw up that poster that Cheryl made, Mike,
Yes.
we could. So there's how you can help. You know, we're looking for help to move and to start the process of building a new building.
Yes, and to anyone viewing this is a very worthy cause, especially if you are a vintage snowmobile enthusiast. Please donate generously to this worthy cause because they sure could use it. And as I said, it's a worthy cause. they're trying to preserve the snowmobile history here that we all love and enjoy.
Thank you, Mike. And a little history on the Snowmobile Museum itself. The original idea was Alan Chardon and Paul Doherty, Paul Doherty was the chief of the Bureau of Trails at the time, and Alan Chardon worked for Timberland Equipment, and they came up with this idea to start a snowmobile museum here in New Hampshire. And they approached where Paul worked for the Parks Department. They came up with this idea to start a state-funded snowmobile museum. And this was the first state-funded snowmobile museum in the world. It took them about 7 years to get the thing rolling, and they decided on these CCC camps buildings, which in Bear Brook State Park, which weren't being used. And they got permission from the state to use them and opened the museum in December of 1985, which is kind of ironic because this is the 40th anniversary of the museum. And now we have to find a new home. So
that is ironic for sure.
Yeah.
And to give the people a better look at what you're talking about, we do have some video clips that were taken at the museum. This first one I'm going to play is from one of your fellow board members. Do you want to set this clip up before I play it?
Yeah, this is Cheryl Castellano. She's one of the board members at the museum. She's our treasurer and membership director, and she does a lot of work at publicity for us. She has been leading the charge on the fundraising for the museum here. So she went in and did this video, put the word out, and try and generate interest. So, yeah, let it go, Mike.
All righty, let's let this rip and take a look here.
Hey, all. Coming to you from the museum today. Hope you're having a great day. Wanted to reach out and remind people that the museum is still trying to figure out what we're going to do. Come the fall, our building has been structurally deemed unsafe, and we need to move the collection by wintertime. So come this fall, we're trying to find a new home. And we're not sure if that is building or receiving a building from somebody. Either way, it's going to be a lot of work. We are relying and looking for donations. For the people who do not know, the building, like I said, it's been braced, but a couple inches of snow could take the roof down. We don't want our collection to get damaged. There's definitely some issues with all the walls in here. It's an old building. Got to expect that. We are always thankful for our supporters, and we're asking for donations. We definitely need to keep our rally going and trying to raise money. Click the link below. We appreciate you, and every dollar counts. Thank you.
Cool deal. And then we've got that banner that we showed earlier. This is the contact information. And before we go too much further, I wanted to give an opportunity for Midge and Rob to weigh in on this if they had any questions or reactions to what we've been looking at.
Yeah, that's it's a darn shame. You know, if Timberland Machines was still around, there would be a healthy check coming your way, you guys. And you know, back years ago, there was a lot of big dealers in town, in the state, huge dealers that would help, and there's probably still some that will help. But I know Timberland Machines, if they were still around, they would definitely be on the forefront of getting this thing going.
For sure, for sure.
Bud, how big was the building?
We figured between the two buildings and the breezeway that the Lombard log hauler is stored in was about 5,000 square feet, roughly.
How many machines did you have in there?
We've got approximately 118 in total between the museum buildings, and we have what we call the white shed out back, which stores probably about 12 to 15 more sleds at the time. We have sold a couple sleds that were duplicates, and we're probably going to be selling a couple more that, again, duplicates. You know, we have like 3 Alouettes that are basically the same model. They all look the same. So 2 of those will be sold off. We still have a 71 Skidoo Olympic. I believe it's a 335. That, again, it's another duplicate. So any sleds like that, you know, we're going to be putting them on the market so that we don't have to continue storing them and, you know, move them into our temporary storage building. Our storage building is the area that we're given is about 3,000 square feet. So really, we're going to be shoehorning the sleds in until we can find something more permanent. So
How big of a building do you need?
Well,
Do you want to make the museum bigger?
oh yeah, absolutely. We have been kicking some ideas around. In fact, one of our board members, Alan Ladd, has taken on the role of project manager, and he has been researching steel buildings and different kinds of things we could do. At our meeting the other night, Chris Gamache, who is a former Bureau of Trails chief, he's on our board, and he had came up with a building on, I think he saw it on Facebook Marketplace or something. You know, those ads are coming up all the time. But I believe it was like a 60 by 120, and it had a carport roof off the length of it. So because we not only have the sleds that are inside the museum, we have 3 groomers parked outside. One of them is a Tucker Snowcat.
That's a yellow one on the brochure, eh?
Right. That one does run and drive. Now, the other 2 that are out front had been donated back long before I belonged to the museum, back in the early days. And neither one of those are currently running, and they're in pretty sad shape. I don't know yet how we're going to move them or where we're going to put them. I have had an offer from the Thornton Snowmobile Club. They do the track-driven show in February. One of the guys on the board there offered to park the Tucker up there for the time being because it would never fit in the storage building that we have. In fact, I'm trying to find an alternate place for our Model T snowmobile. There isn't enough room in that building for it as well. So I've been looking at a couple of options where we could park the Model T for the time being. We'd like that in a pretty secure building. We don't want to lose track of that or have anything happen to it.
Do you want to bring the Tucker up to my cottage?
Sure. You got a low bed that we could haul it on?
No, but they look like they'd be a fun machine to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever gone to the track-driven show in Thornton?
No.
You should. They do an amazing job. A lot of track-driven machines, Model T snowmobiles, Tuckers. There's one guy that even brings down a Lombard log hauler, and he runs and drives it. And let me tell you, that thing is loud.
Loud.
Oh, my God, is it loud.
Big old Wisconsin 6-cylinder engine on it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So
Yeah,
if you ever
huge.
get a chance, February, look towards the end of February, the track-driven show in Thornton, New Hampshire. Worth checking out.
Nice.
But like I said, they offered to let us store that Tucker over there. It would be outside, which is basically the same as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, Chris had come up with this idea with the carport on the side. That would be a perfect place to park that. It'd still be outside, but, out of the weather.
Yeah,
Right.
give it some cover.
Unfortunately, we had been talking about building a carport before we found these problems with the building. we wanted to get that Tucker out of the weather, and we were going to put up a carport on a concrete pad. In fact, we were just starting to look to raise money to do that when this hit us. So obviously we scrapped that idea. But
Sure.
there are a lot of sleds in there that we need to take care of and get, stored somewhere and protect them.
Yes.
So,
Now, while we've been doing this, we've had some comments come in. Let's take a look at those real quick. And we've got plenty more video clips to look at, video clips from the museum, as well as some other things. But let's see, our good friend Ben from the Vintage Mini Bike Lovers Facebook page is here. He and I and Rob collaborate on a vintage mini bike podcast. So if you like those vintage mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, be sure and check that out. It's the second Sunday of every month. Right, we're reviewing this at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We've had Bud has been a guest on there because he's a mini bike enthusiast as well. So, yeah, that's cool. It's funny how things come full circle like that. Also, Scott,
little plug, Mike. The Unknown Mountaineers of Goffstown Snowmobile Club, I'm involved with them. And every fall, we do a snowmobile mini bike show over in Goffstown. And we just had the show last weekend. And we did a little different this year. We didn't do all the awards that we usually do. We kept it simple and basic. We just did a display, snowmobiles, mini bikes. We had the swap meet, and of course the club cooked the food and had our famous steak and cheese subs. Yeah. And it was a good time. And I got a lot of positive feedback that, hey, you don't need those awards. We had more fun. And we did a loud pipe contest just for the fun of it. No award, just bragging rights. Everybody had a good time. So
I know Dave Stroud is often the winner of that loud pipe contest.
Well, he didn't win this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Since there was no award, I entered my Thunderjet. And Jeff Leopold's Chaparral and I tied with a tenth of a decibel higher than Dave.
Wow.
So we
Tough competition there. That's wild. Cutthroat competition there.
Oh, yeah. I love the loud pipe contest. I enter it every time I get a chance. But like I said, where I run the show, I don't feel it's right to compete with my stuff.
Sure.
So,
Totally understand. Now, Scott Hahn is here from Thompson, Iowa. Great to see you, Scott. Also, Richard Heller is here from Bethel, Vermont. Nice to see you, Richard. Steve Woodward is here saying hello from Two Stack HR Carb. Nice to see you. Our good friend Josh Levicker is here. Good friend of, I think, all of us here. Says good evening from Turin, New York. He's a big promoter of vintage snowmobile shows out that way as well. Our good friend Brian Van Haverbeek, who's been on this podcast many times, big kitty cat collector. He says good evening, and we're working on bringing him on sometime a little later in the season. He's got some new things to show us. In fact, we're going to have a sneak peek in 2 weeks, and I'm going to just tease you with that and let you salivate until you see what it is he's got. You're going to like it. It'll be worth the wait. Tim Bewick is here, our good friend from Marlboro, New York. Nice to see you. Also, Barry Haney is here, says, wish there was a way to carefully disassemble that building and move it and save it. It's a historical treasure built by the young men of the CCC just after the Depression. I'd love to have it on my property in Dorchester, New Hampshire, along with the sleds. Cool. Yeah. Good thoughts there.
Yeah.
And our good friend Glenn Ford is here saying good evening. Nice to see you. And Ned Ply or Ned P1Y maybe tuning in on the Ben and Deeb channel from Albany County, New York. Nice to see you. And thank you for tuning in on the Ben and Deeb YouTube channel. That's an excellent channel. Okay, so let me bring this down, and we've got some more video clips. This is from one of the shows that Bud had organized. I'm going to say 2018 or 19. I don't remember the exact year, but we're going to go inside, take a look at the museum, and then, Bud, if you have comments on that after, by all means, weigh in with that, and we'll all react to it as well. But let's take a look here. In fact, there's no audio with this, so if you want to comment on any of this, Bud, feel free.
Yeah, this what you're seeing now was before I did some rearranging and built some shelves in there to get some sleds up off the floor. You probably noticed in the video that Cheryl did, the arrangement of the sleds was a lot different than what you're looking at now. except for the Skidoo line, which basically stayed the same. That red one that you're looking at there, that is a snow gear built in Torino, Italy. That was removed from a crate and put into the museum.
Let me go back to that. I was wondering about that. That one in the middle there?
That one right there, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, snow gear
Is that
from Italy.
one of a kind in Canada? I mean, U.S.?
I don't know if it's a one of a kind, but it's very rare.
Looks
In
like
fact,
one
if
of
you
the
look
old
close-
Mercuries painted red.
Yeah. It you look close, it still has the plastic on the seat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what is this white one to the left of it?
That is a Tundra. I believe those were built in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that orange one is an AMF, I think, isn't it?
That's an
Yeah.
AMF. Those are two AMFs that you see right there to the right of the screen.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. We'll keep this going here for the line of Ski-Doos. The wheel kit on that Olympic there.
That's a trailer kit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a trailer.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a dolly almost? A tow dolly
Yeah,
or something?
that's a Bombardier trailer built in probably 63 or 64.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Built specifically to haul those old bubble nose Skidoos.
Yeah. Now, one
Man,
of
those-
these is the sled that Paul Crane rode. Is let
The
me know.
very
when we get to
first
that.
one, there you go, right on the end there.
Yeah.
That's a 60. That's serial number 6022. That was the first Skidoo snowmobile sold in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's
Paul
amazing.
Crane uncrated it.
Yep.
That's amazing. A lot of history right there.
Yeah.
And that's that log one,
Big
right?
Lombard.
Yep, that's that Lombard log hauler. Yep.
Yes, that's a beast.
That's
A
a
lot of
beast, isn't
people
it?
claim that was the first snowmobile built. They actually started production in Waterville, Maine in 1899. Though technically it's not a snowmobile. It's basically a log skidder with skis on it. But some people, in fact, in the upcoming Snow Traveler magazine, I did an article which is basically a rewrite of a history of the snowmobile that Paul Doherty did.
Yeah.
And in that, he talks about the Lombard log hauler as being the first snowmobile.
That's impressive.
Of course, we all know that the term snowmobile was coined and copyrighted by Virgil White in West Ossipee, New Hampshire, to describe the Model Ts that he converted for snow travel.
And didn't they have like a footboard that said snowmobile on it?
Yes, in fact, Paul has one in Crane's museum.
Yes.
Ours does not have the snowmobile footstep on it in the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum. Now, I don't know if it was taken off and lost during restoration, or if when it was being used at Cranmore, they took it off. Somewhere along the way, those were lost.
Sure.
You can see the memorabilia that we've had, and we've got there the oil cans, the old snowmobiles, Skiroo pendant. Some rare, I guess you'd call them beer steins from Skidoo.
Yes.
Of course, the old purple power lube
Oh, yes.
oil.
Want some spray paint, Bombardier spray paint, Polaris spray paint?
Touch-up paints.
Yeah.
A lot of odd oil cans. Go back a little bit, and there's some flares there. I don't know where those came from, but
Sure. Now, I want to go back to this log hauler for a minute, the Lombard long hauler,
sure.
because when I was over there at one of your shows, like I was saying, 2018 or 19, probably the day I filmed this, my girlfriend was with me, and you and I, the three of us were standing there, and I was joking to her. She didn't know it was a joke yet, but I don't know if you remember this, Bud, but I told her that you just sold that to me, and it was going to be delivered to her house later that week. Do you remember that, Bud?
Yeah.
She gave me a look that was priceless. But,
I don't know how we get it out of there. That was put in there. First thing they did was build the concrete slab, and they hoisted that thing in there with a crane because it doesn't run, and then they built the connection to the two buildings around it. So that's
Wow.
not going anywhere too soon.
No.
So that still doesn't run?
No, it still doesn't run. It doesn't have any carburetors on it. Now that machine was actually built out of 3 different Lombards that were rescued out of Eagle Lake in Maine. And I believe Alan Chardon was one of the guys involved in getting those Lombards out, and Timberland Equipment rebuilt and built that one out of 3 and then donated it to the museum here.
Wow. Yeah.
My
looks
grandfather
like
used to work on them.
Yeah, but
Oh,
unfortunately,
He stayed-
that one,
he
I
stayed in the
don't know
woods
what
all
happened.
winter.
They never found the carburetors for it, apparently.
looks like it's a crank start
Yep,
Oh, yes.
and
In the front there.
gas powered headlights.
yep. That one's a 1918.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the early gas engines, because prior to that, they were running steam engines.
Steam engine. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And then
That's
later in the 20s, before they stopped building them, they had actually converted some to diesel.
That's correct. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
on the
few
later
diesel
one.
models kicking around. I haven't seen one, but I know there are a few.
So what is the plan to get that out for
There
storage?
isn't one at this point.
Take the roof off, bring back the crane?
Well, that is one of the machines that's owned by the Parks Department. And at this point, any machines that are owned by the Parks Department are going to be stored in that room right there until they decide what they're doing, or we have a new building to move them to.
Right.
So that one is a big question mark at this point,
Sure.
because obviously it's going to take some work. Now, at some point, the buildings, they're building 3 and 5 of the CCC camps. Those buildings will be raised. And the talk when we met with the state about what's going on was they may try to save that center and cap the ends. But I don't know where that's gone. That's up to the DNCR and the Parks Department, what they're going to do with that stuff. But hopefully it will wind up wherever the museum does. It will wind up in our building.
Yeah.
We may need an addition just for that.
Yeah. No
You gotta
doubt.
go a long ways down that row of the skidoos before you see any wooden skis.
There's, I think, 3 of them in the line that have wooden
Is there?
skis.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that line is, and I've heard a lot of comments, geez, you got a lot of skidoos in that line. Why do you got so many? Well, that shows the progression from 1960 through 71 with that Nordic that's in the middle. Well, the Nordic isn't in that picture. It wasn't in the museum at that point. But it shows how they went from the wooden ski with the coil spring to the wooden ski with the leaf spring, and then to the steel skis with the leaf springs. And then how the design went from tin cab to fiberglass, the fiberglass first one with that V on the front, and then into the bubble nose era.
And
So
the
when you
pop-up
look,
headlights.
yeah, when you look close and you walk down the line and read the info sheet on each one, you know, it's kind of interesting how they progressed.
See the evolution there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only brand that we have a progression like that. You know, we have quite a few Arctic Cats, but you know, they're just random, you know.
Yeah. Not enough to make that kind of a line.
Yeah. Well, we've got a first year Panther, which is, you know, anyone who knows snowmobiles from that era, that Panther changed the design or snowmobile. It was the first low forward mounted engine, the first full aluminum chassis manufactured for the public. And it had an early slide. Well, actually, that first 67 that we have has more like the Pararail that Scorpion had. It's a solid bar with wheels mounted on it, idler wheels, before they went to the nylon Hyfax the next year.
Yeah.
But a lot of first flip open cab on a snowmobile, fiberglass flip open cab.
And you just saw the 292 Yamaha, the first oil injection.
Yep. And we have an SL 350 and 351 that you just went by there a minute ago. And as you see there to the left a little bit, that we've got two little Andy Polarises. And there's one.
That early Panther?
Yeah, that's the 67. That one actually might be the Cougar.
Okay.
It was a early Cougar. The Arctic Cat had dropped the name for a time and then brought it back again in the 80s. There's a 63 Moto Ski Cadet.
That must be one of the first years, I would think.
Yes. First year of full production. They actually, forget the gentleman's name, started working on moto skis in the late 50s. And there were a couple experimental models along the way. And 63, it was first production models came out. That one was donated by Bickford Sports Center over in Epsom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm just rolling because I've got a lot of footage of inside the museum.
Yeah.
And in case people are just joining us, what we're doing here is trying to raise money and awareness for the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum in Allenstown, New Hampshire. They're in a situation where the building is no longer has structural integrity. They've got to move everything out of there and find a new location. So what we're doing here tonight is trying to raise money and awareness for that situation. And please donate generously to this worthy cause. If you love snowmobiles and snowmobile history, this is a huge piece of history in this museum right here. And there's a link in the description as well as contact information, phone numbers, things like that if you're interested in donating. And is there anything that we've just seen here, Bud, that you wanted to comment on?
If you look closely, you can see what I was talking about a minute ago, the progression of the skis and how they go from wood to steel, and how some of the early ones used the coil springs and then they went to the leaf spring. You see the leaf spring on a couple of those right there.
Yeah.
The early ones.
Yeah, that is really cool. Now
And that there, what you've got stopped there, that's a 1975 Arctic Cat Trail Cat. That's a first year Trail Cat. That one was built more as a conventional style snowmobile. It was built as a smaller unit, lightweight, and it actually has a plastic track on it that's built in sections.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
There were only a couple hundred of them built. I think the number's around 240 or 250.
Wow, limited production.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't catch on.
Sure.
I believe that's a 4-stroke engine in that one too.
Well, we get some nice comments coming in. Mike Whiteside saying incredible collection, and Ivan Mayu likes that 68 Yamaha, and Mike Whiteside likes the Bombardiers. Patrick Goodrow, also a Bombardier guy, says can't believe the state or NHSA won't put a roof on it.
Well, to that comment, we've heard that comment a lot. It goes a lot deeper than the roof. It is structurally compromised from the ground up. I mean, They literally would have to be rebuilt.
Up in Canaan, Vermont.
But yeah, and if there's anything you wanted to comment on, this is more of that line of Ski-Doos.
Yep.
And that first one is the one Paul Crane imported, correct?
You notice how bright the yellow is on that first machine, that original Skidoo. That's the original Bombardier yellow.
Yeah.
Right from the factory. And you'll notice how much brighter yellow that is compared to the rest of them.
Yes, look at that right next
And
to
that's
it. It's almost
actually
orange.
the original.
One of the things,
Yeah, it's original can of paint that they used to paint that thing with from Bombardier.
Wow.
comment on that one. Young gentleman from Vermont, Austin Weed, found a picture of that sled online that had been painted green.
Huh.
Wow.
And yeah, after it was sold, I remember reading that Paul took it back in trade towards 66 or 67
Yeah.
Skidoo.
Yeah,
And then it
Paul
was-
still
it
got
was-
that.
Yep. That sled was used to do some work out in the woods, and somebody had painted it green. And
Probably Dave Parks, the guy that originally
it
bought
could
it.
be. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but,
Red
you know,
Parks.
Austin,
Yeah, Dave Parks. Say they couldn't sell that machine. It was the price of it was too high, and it sat around Timberlands for about a year, and because everybody was trying it, and everything, and but nobody bought it. So Dave Parks goes in one day and he says to Bob Bottoms, he said, "I'll buy that contraption off you," but he says, what I'd like to do, he says, I've got a woodlot out east of Lancaster. He said, I'll trade you that woodlot for that machine. So Bottoms took him up on it. The first time anybody actually said they'd like to take the sled out from under him. So Bottoms traded the woodlot for the first Skidoo to come into America.
no kidding. Yep.
And Dave Parks had it until, like you said, till 66. And Bottoms called him up. He said, I'd like that original Skidoo. He said, would you take a brand new 1966 10-horse Skidoo in for trade, even Steven?
Yeah.
And Dave said, sure.
Yeah.
So they got us a picture of Paul Crane and Bob Bottoms and Red Parks out in front of Paul's sporting goods store.
Right. I've seen that picture. Yep.
Yeah. And when they made the trade. So it's
And
I knew Red Parks for years. He used to come into my Dick's golf station and hang out. So
that sled was restored by Alan Chardon.
Yes.
And donated to the museum along with a couple other Skidoos in that line. I can't tell you specifically which ones without looking at the info sheets, but I believe that's a 61 sitting right next to it was one of the ones that he donated.
Yeah.
And down the progression there was about 5 of those Skidoos that were donated by a gentleman out in New York, which kind of completed a good part of that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The logo on the front hood, is that a decal or hand painted?
I believe those were all hand painted.
Wow.
In fact, if you look close, I don't think you really see it on that 61. They were originally called the Ski Dog.
Yeah.
But there was I guess a misprint because whoever was reading it for the ad read it as
the G
Ski-Doo
was an awful lot like
because it was the angle of it was so small.
Right.
So Bombardier decided, well, Skidoo sounds a lot better than Ski Dog.
Yeah.
So they just ran with it.
Yeah. That's just how it went.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've got someone here saying this is some great Ski-Doo history right here. And it truly is, because it took a few years for people to realize the historic significance of this being the first Ski-Doo to come into America.
Right.
They traded for a woodlot, then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, we need to get that back. That's a historic sled right there.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And talking about Ski Dog versus Ski-Doo, Patrick Goudreau is saying, thank God they changed it for sure.
Well, you kind of wonder if they continued calling it Ski Dog, how that would have affected sales.
True.
Yeah, really.
It sounds like a negative connotation.
Yeah, it did sound kind of
Bombardier, the reason he called it a Ski Dog was he built it to replace the dog sled.
Yep.
That's what he built it for.
Right.
I don't think at that time, I don't think even Bombardier had any idea of how big of a recreational boom that little sled would bring in a few years.
Well, that sled in that style, as you know, Midge, is what started the recreation. The older,
Yes, it did.
The Polarises, the Elisons, those were workhorses. They weren't recreational vehicles.
No.
This was the
These
first
little
one
sleds, you could throw them around.
Lightweight, easy to maneuver. When they got stuck, you could get it out. Where one of those big Polaris Mountaineers got stuck, they didn't have a winch on the back of them for nothing.
No, that's true. Yeah, true. Yeah. No, one good rugged guy could load one of those early Skidoos in the back of a pickup all by himself.
They really started something big right there, and it did. Once you get into the 70s, it exploded.
It's the 60s, the late 60s. My God, everybody and their brother was jumping on the bandwagon. If you owned any kind of summer recreational vehicle, you had to have something for winter. So, hey, let's get in the snowmobile game.
Yeah, in the late 60s, they're looking like this. These bubble noses.
God,
that was a huge movement right there.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
have you ever read the books by Pierre Pellerin? The history.
I've got all 3 volumes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And it's not something you sit down and read. It's one of those things you kind of study.
Yeah, that's right.
According to him, over the life up until he wrote that book, there were over 400 makes.
Wow.
Of snowmobile.
Just imagine.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What a time that was.
Yeah. And if you look in the beginning of volume 1, some of the early drawings, one of the history series that I did for the Snow Traveler magazine, unfortunately I couldn't get permission to use the pictures, but it told about how it started and some of the processes that people used for snow traveling vehicles. And the earliest drawing, according to that book, was like from 1824. That depicted a track-driven machine with skis on the front.
Yeah.
Never went into any kind of production that anybody knows of, but it's just amazing when you sit down and read that history, how far back it goes and the different experimenting that people did to try and travel over snow.
There was so many different, like you say, designs, and everybody, thought they had the better mousetrap.
Yeah.
But it all boiled down to every snowmobile made today is on the Bombardier design.
Yep, they're all based on
in
that.
front of the driver. Yep. Driver sits on a seat over the track. His feet are on running boards. He steers 2 skis with handlebars.
And Bombardier was the first one to use a continuous rubber track.
Yeah.
Other than that, they were using conveyor belts.
Right.
Which were
wooden cleats.
Yep.
Running over a metal rail.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And the rail on the early Polarises, it was a hardwood slat that the cleats ran on.
Yeah.
Instead of Hyfax like they have today, it was a piece of hardwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
That's wild. So I'll tell you where we're at. We've got about 10 minutes left, and this is all the footage I've got as far as the museum itself. I have a couple of clips from shows that Bud has done, because as I said earlier, Bud is one of the top promoters in the East as far as vintage snowmobile shows, events, things like this. I've got this on the screen here because we are raising money for the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum. They do have to move to a different location because there's some issues with their current building. We encourage people to please donate generously to this worthy cause because you're donating to the history of snowmobiles and all of these stories that you just heard. That's where these come from. That's where a lot of that history is preserved. So please donate generously to this worthy cause. The contact information is on your screen as well as in the description of this video. What I've got next is, this is from a show at the museum about that same time, 2018 or so. This is the day I met Armand Buteau. He had a trailer full of ruts. So let's meet Armand Buteau because I know he's watching tonight.
Buteau, and I'm from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. and I've been around Rupp since 1972 when I was racing them for a dealer. And since then, I've had a snowmobile touring business and a rental fleet, and I probably owned about 1,000 sleds.
Wow.
And over that period of time, I've had a lot of show sleds. And these three here are all very unique. The one on the left is the 73 Rupp Nitro pre-production prototype that has 0.4 of a mile on it.
0.4 of a mile.
Yeah, it's very unique. And has 22 one-off parts on it that didn't make production.
Wow.
Like aluminum rear idlers and a unique exhaust system, different skid. It's just a raft of different features on it that they were playing with and found unprofitable to do on the production run. But that I've had for about 10 years. And the one in the back I just recently picked up in Hiawatha Township, Michigan, from a gentleman by the name of Joe Francis, who built it, and that was his vintage rider, and it's a 73 Rupp Nitro 440 that he actually has stretched to accommodate a 91 Polaris RXL SKS 136.
Wow. Long track on there. Oh,
long
I can see
track.
it. Yeah.
So it's really unique, has a beautiful look to it, and I drove all the way out to get it, and it's something I bought as a vintage rider for myself. Okay, this one here is a 72 Rupp Nitro that has been customized by Bill Stull in Polonia, Wisconsin. He's a friend of mine. And the bulkhead's been widened out about 6 inches, has custom lowers. It has a 73 440 Tohatsu with CDI ignition, and that's mated with a 72 Ramshorn exhaust, which really snaps it up.
Yeah.
Has a liquid Rupp rear skid and track. It's just a beautiful custom. Now these two, the pre-production Nitro and the custom 72, were one of 5 Rupps I showed at the Nationals in Lancaster, New Hampshire in 16. And they both trophied at that level. Both of them got seconds, which to me was
Yeah, at a national show.
really nice.
That's impressive.
And so I had 5 sleds there, and 3 of them trophied.
Yeah.
And just these 2 just happened to be here. But this show I've probably been at for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years now. And it's always like coming home, you know, because I live in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, which is close to the edge of the world.
Yeah. Top of the world anyway.
Absolutely. So they're a lot of fun. Rupp is kind of a unique product. And one of the unique things I have that several people have been trying to talk me out of late is a Simpson fire suit that was owned by Mick Rupp.
Oh, really?
And it's got his logo on it, and it's something that I have documentation that he has worn when he flew a P-38, which he still does. He's still alive.
Huh.
And so it's kind of a neat affiliation with the brand. It's kind of genetic defect, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go. Armin Buto, good friend, I think, of most of us here, and
great guy. Yeah,
yes,
one of the best.
for sure. And he's been on the podcast a couple of times.
I met Armin at the 2016 national show. That's when I first met Armin.
Nice, yeah.
And first thing he said, I like your stories in the paper, Mitch. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Rob, reactions to this?
I like Rupps. They're unique.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were one of my favorites at the tracks.
They've got a beautiful style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Timeless.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Back
I
in those
apologize
days,
for that. Go ahead, Rob.
back in those days, Rep was doing everything. They had a mini bike, they had a 3-wheeler, they had,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go-karts,
Yeah.
you name it.
They're big.
Yes. And I have to apologize for the text that was crawling across that screen. This is old footage of mine, and I was promoting stuff like that back around 2019. So that's no longer relevant, but that's what that was, in case you were wondering. And I've got one last clip. This is from the Goffstown show, probably about 2018 or 19, because Bud Gordon organizes that show as well. He organizes so many different shows and events. But this is a clip from the Goffstown show, which they just had the annual Goffstown show last weekend. You want to do a quick shameless recap of that?
Sure.
Bud?
Yeah, as I said, this year we went without the trophies and awards. We eliminated the raffle. We just did a basic display, had some fun, did a loud pipe contest just for bragging rights, and turned out it was a great time. I got nothing but positive feedback. We don't need those awards. We just come down to see each other, look at the sleds, and hang out and BS for the day.
Nice.
So yeah,
I'm looking forward to that Franconia notch ride, Bud.
Well, actually, I was going to ask Mike, once we get done with this clip, I've got some plugs on stuff coming up. And like next year's Goffstown show will be on Saturday, October 24th, 2020.
Mark your calendar, folks.
Mark your calendar for that. So, and then show the clip, Mike, and then I've got some stuff that I'd like to read off.
Absolutely.
Got time.
Let's play this, and we'll catch you on the other side here in just a minute.
33. They made them 2 years consumer. 74s, 75s. There's several differences between the two, but then they went to the liquid cool SRXs. It's been a kind of a hobby of mine. I got a couple of them. Trail ride them, have fun with them, enjoy them. And this one I cleaned up, made it into a trailer queen of sorts, take it to shows, have fun.
Nice.
That's what I'm after.
Beautiful. Well, cool. Thank you, Steve. I'm going to just kind of do like a walk around of it. There we go. Come around this side. There we go. This is a better angle. All the Hollywood stars always say, shoot me from my good side. Yeah, go ahead.
Wonderful for a rough and fall. But yeah, I need to get this back. Fix the crack. I get the striping cleared. I get all that. I'm good to go.
So yeah, a quick shout out to our good friend Steve Bushway. We see him at a lot of the vintage snowmobile shows in northern Vermont, New Hampshire. Great guy and always fun to visit with. But yes, go ahead, Bud. In fact, let me put you full screen, Bud, for some shameless plugs on some of the events that you've got coming up.
So some of the museum events that we've got that will be coming up, we don't have dates set on everything yet because I haven't been able to file the permits. The Bear Notch Ride, I do have a date on that one, Sunday, 18 January. The Winter Rally, we don't know what's going to happen with that yet. I'm trying to get permission from the state to continue using the field so we can have it there. If not, we'll have to find a new location. So keep your eye out for that one. Franconia Notch Ride, that's Sunday, 1st of March next year. That goes off from the Whale's Tail Water Park in Lincoln. Coming up the weekend of November 15th through 16th, we're going to be set up at the Sled Expo down in Springfield, Mass. So if you're in the area, come down, check out the Sled Expo and swing by our tent. that we will be in the building with a vintage display, and we'll have our clothing and raffle tickets for our new raffle sled, which is one of the things I want to get to. Excuse me. For our next raffle, the 2026 snowmobile raffle, which will be drawn on October 11th, 2026 at the Grass Drags in Epping, we have for our grand prize a 1980 Skidoo Elan 250 donated by Arnold Sayer III. Actually, the late Arnold Sayer. When he passed, he wanted this sled to be donated to the museum to use to help us. So that would be our grand prize. Really clean, nice little sled, taken very good care. The track on it is like brand new. It's amazing how clean this thing is. Second prize this year, we're doing some things a little different. We've got a cordless screw gun kit being donated by Lowe's Home Improvement. And for our third prize, we've got a battery-powered fuel can. One of our board members, Cheryl Castellano, bought one of these at HK Power Sports. It's really cool. Instead of having to lift the can and dump it, you can just set it down on the ground, and it's a little battery-operated motor on it that will pump the fuel right out of the can into your sled. You don't even have to pick it up. And that can is being donated by HK Power Sports in Hooksett, New Hampshire. So that's what we've got coming up for the museum. And hopefully our spring and fall swaps next year will be the same at the field in the museum. If not, we'll just have to look for alternative locations for them.
Sure.
But
and for anyone who wants to keep up with all this, I'll give you a chance to finish your thought, but this is how you find everything he's talking about, the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum.com website. Yep. And go ahead, Bud, finish your thought. Sorry.
Or look for us on Facebook, our Facebook page, New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum.
Yes.
So there's a lot of information on there. In fact, most of the information that Cheryl does, as she acts as our publicity, winds up on Facebook first. We get a lot more traction there than we do with the website.
Sure.
But we still got the old school guys who like the website, so we keep that up.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of good content on their Facebook page, so please check out their Facebook page. And like I said, Bud is one of the top promoters in the East. He organizes so many shows and events. Very busy guy in the vintage snowmobile hobby, and we thank him for all of those efforts. He's also a board member for the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum, and I'm going to pop this one more time. That's why we're here tonight. We're trying to raise money. In fact, you can probably say it a lot better than I can, but a final pitch for the fund drive for the museum. Why are we doing it, and what else would you like to add?
We can save the history of the snowmobile here in New Hampshire. We have a great deal of history. Snowmobile was literally invented in New Hampshire, in West Ossipee. Like I said, Virgil White coined and copyrighted the term snowmobile. So, yeah, we look forward to your support. We can use all the help we can get. We're looking for a rich aunt or uncle that may have a nice big building that we could move right into, trailside, so anybody's out there, shameless plug, we can use the help.
And if anyone wins the lottery here in the next couple of weeks, we sure could use a few bucks of that to go toward the museum. And as Bud said, their current building, there's some issues with it. They have to be out of there as soon as possible. So they're looking to start over with a new building and a new situation there. That's why we're doing this tonight, is trying to raise money for that. So please donate generously. It's a very worthy cause. The contact information is on the screen and in the description of this video. And anything we left out, Bud, that we want to add to that?
Actually, I don't know if you can see it on there. There should be a QR code. If it's not on there, I don't know if it got eliminated on that. Is it down?
I took it off because with the video, they can't scan it. But if they go to your Facebook page or website, it's there.
Exactly. Go on the Facebook page or the home page on our website, and there's a QR code. You can donate through your phone.
Yes.
Please help generously.
Yes, please. It's a very worthy cause. And as you can see, these are good friends here of ours and very active people in the vintage snowmobile hobby. They could sure use your support. And before we close, Rob and Midge, final closing thoughts? Go ahead, Rob.
Great show. Nice stuff they got in the museum. Hope somebody donates a nice building to you. You guys need it.
We'd love that. We would love that for sure.
Good
Yes.
show, and Bud made it so tonight, and I put Bud as the Ed Stab of New Hampshire snowmobiling.
Yes,
Well, thank you. That's a heck of a compliment. I appreciate that.
it's true. Probably one of the top promoters in New England. Probably the top
Absolutely.
promoter in New England. I
Well,
can't.
I gotta-
Absolutely.
Thank you
Can't
for the
think of anyone
compliments, but I got to tell you honestly, it's not me alone. I have a good
Well-
crew behind me in Goffstown, and I have a great crew behind me at the museum. We all work together. I'm just the guy that sits at the head of the desk and runs the meetings.
Sure.
We all work hard, every one
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
Yes, and we appreciate your efforts to keep this vintage hobby
Right.
alive.
Thank you.
Right.
He works tirelessly on that, and we very much appreciate that. So with that, that's pretty much the night. I'm going to pop this on the screen one more time, and I'm going to go straight into the closing video where we give Amsoil the last word. But thank you to everyone for viewing tonight and hanging out with us. Thank you to Bud, to Midge, and to Rob tonight. Had a great time, and have a good week, everybody. We'll catch you next week for episode 99.
Good night, everybody.
We're almost
Good
at
night,
episode 100.
Thank you, Mike, for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, my pleasure.
Great show,
Have a good
Mike.
week, everybody. Goodbye.
Good night.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather. It runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order. That gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product. Perfect.
Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.